Hello and welcome to 18 WJTS in.form. I'm Kaitlyn Neukam, and today we've got some wonderful and lovely people from the Patoka Lake Watershed Steering Committee. We have John Wade and Emily Russell, so welcome to you both.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
So before we get into the real meat of why you both came to visit us today, I'd love to hear about the Patoka Lake Watershed Steering Committee, or what the Patoka Lake Watershed is and about all that fun stuff.
Okay, I can probably give you a little history. Back in 2006, the Patoka Lake Water and Sewer District decided that they really needed a grant, Clean Water Act 319 grant from IDEM, to maybe monitor a few of the tributaries coming in to make sure the water's right, because they're taking drinking water out of it. So they applied and were successful to get a grant. So it started in 2007. And of course, they had various tasks that they had to do. One of them, and also we had to hire a coordinator. So we got the coordinator hired, and one of them was cleanup, and the other one was that we're going to monitor about 7 different tributaries coming in, biological part and chemistry part. So we did those. It's a 3-year grant. We did that for 3 years. We submitted the information, and it turned out that the tributaries were really fair or good, which was good. And so we applied for another one, but the problem was that it was so good that we couldn't compete with other grants that had a lot worse water. So we lost that money, we lost the coordinator, so we decided, well, that's what the Watershed Committee was formed at that time as part of the grant. So we decided, well, we can't stop. We don't have the money. What is the thing that maybe we could continue? And it was the cleanup.
Yeah.
So we started the cleanup, and it has grown immensely, and we're in the 17th cleanup this year.
Wow.
And to date, we've had 1,700 volunteers and picked up 21.5 tons of trash. So that's a lot. Not to say that everybody throws trash out, but it's amazing over those 17 years how long. So that's where the committee came in. And so now the committee basically has been, the cleanup has the major part of it. And Emily later probably could talk a little bit about, because we got a grant this year again, small one, and we could hire a coordinator, which we always wanted, because it got so big that the committee couldn't really have the time. So you know, after Emily can kind of bring us up to what she does, and it's been great. She was hired as a coordinator for the next 3 years.
That is awesome. Well, congrats, welcome, all the things. I didn't realize I was sitting with the coordinator here, but of course that sounds amazing, and it brings us to Patoka Lake Cleanup Day that you guys are hosting. I know we have a pretty involved alum, Mr. Bill Potter himself has been there numerous times. So for those who aren't aware, or first-timers, possibly like myself, what is the Patoka Lake Cleanup Day all about?
I can kind of handle that. And before we get started, I think we need to address why we're doing it.
Yeah.
We've got an 8,800 acre lake, second largest man-made lake in Indiana, and we want to keep that clean. And it was built in the late 1970s for flood control, recreation, and drinking water. So flood control, it's already done its thing. I mean, it's helped tremendously. Recreation, we like to have over 500,000 visitors a year. Well, they're bringing their pocketbook. So that money is generated within a short distance around that lake, and it's added to restaurants, it's added to motels. It's made a major difference to our economy. So we want to have those visitors come back. Then lastly is drinking water. And Patoka Lake Water and Sewer District, they draw their water from the lake.
Yes.
And so they pump about 8 million gallons of water a day, and they pump it to 11 counties. So they're pumping 800 miles of water lines all the way down to the Ohio River, all the way over to Gibson County to Oakland City, and all the way up to French Lick and Paoli. That's a little over 37,000 households and 100,000 people.
Yeah.
So you imagine what that would be if we didn't have that drinking water. So that is very, very important. as far as why we're out there cleaning up and helping that lake.
Yeah, and I mean, growing up around this area, my dad always pointed out, yep, you get your water from the lake up there, blah, blah, blah. So if people aren't aware that that's where the drinking water comes from, maintaining that and keeping it as nice and clean as it needs to be is super important for our little ecosystem here.
Yes.
And we're kind of nearing the end of summertime boating season, so that comes with the cleanup day.
Yeah, yeah. And Emily, I guess you could explain a little bit how the cleanup works as far as when it starts and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so registration starts at 8. We'll have you come in, we'll get you registered as a volunteer, take your information. You'll go through a safety talk, get some supplies like gloves, bug spray, high-vis vests if you're going to be along the road, trash grabbers, bags, things like that. You'll go out, you'll be assigned a pickup location. Some people will go out by boat, some will just pick up alongside the road. We'll all come back about 11, take a big group photo so we can show all the trash we collected and everybody that was involved in the cleanup, and then we'll have a fish fry. So free lunch never hurt anybody.
Yes, so this is a free event, right?
Yes. Okay.
Yes, and we do have goodie bags we'll give to everyone. We do have, thankful to our donors, we really want to thank our donors that either gave cash or gifts. We have a board that has all the gifts that were given, so it's a random drawing, so you got to come back and make sure you may be a winner, of one of the gifts. So, but we really want to thank the donors for their gifts and money. And it's growing every year, but we need more. We need more. We could welcome more. So we welcome families, groups, cadets, Boy Scouts, girls, whatever. And yeah, you don't have to register before. Come on in. It's free. We'll have at the Corps of Engineers, that's the dam site where it's going to be, and we'll have signs on the road because it gets a little confusing getting to it, so help people to get to it. And just come and enjoy. I mean, it's only half a day.
Yeah.
You still got the perfect afternoon to go out and do something. Yeah.
Yeah, and you need to dress for the occasion, correct?
Yeah, Emily, you might address that. Yeah.
We recommend closed-toed shoes. You don't want to be slipping around in sandals alongside the road edge. Long pants to protect your legs, ticks, bugs, and, the trash itself. You don't want to get scratched or anything like that. We'll have bug spray and high-vis vests as far as safety, but we do ask closed-toed shoes, long pants.
That's a must.
Yes.
Yeah. Also, we're going to have a couple boats.
Okay.
So you can get on a boat and we'll go to areas you just can't, nobody can walk on water. Well, somebody can, but to go back in those areas where you can't get by foot. So, yeah. So that's kind of good. And then just have a good time. I mean, that's the main thing. And, we as the Watershed Steering Committee, again, because of time in that, wanted to do a lot more than just the cleanup. We want to get out. Well, now Emily has helped us tremendously because as a coordinator, we've got her for 3 years, hopefully longer, but 3 years, yeah. And she might explain a little bit of stepping out a little bit of the cleanup, what she can help us out.
Please, I'd love to hear what you got up your sleeves.
Yeah, so my position is grant funded. It's funded by the Clean Water Act, gave money to EPA federally. And that EPA gives it to the state agencies. So in Indiana, that's IDEM, Indiana Department of Environmental Management. And then they distribute that in grants called the Section 319 Non-Point Source Pollution Program. So it's grants that get distributed to help decrease that non-point pollution. So point pollution would be, think like straight pipe straight into a water body. Non-point would be things like litter, runoff from agricultural practices, urban areas, things like that. So we want to address the things that are hard to pinpoint and then they're harder to control too. So my job is to outreach and educate. We have a website that has a lot of great resources on it, news, updates. It's Patoka Lake Cleansweep.com.
Okay.
And then we also have a Facebook page that's Patoka Lake Watershed Steering Committee. And just with the way watersheds work, think of it as like a canyon or a valley, right? Everything from the edges ends up in one spot. So in Patoka Lake, that's the lake. The lake's at the bottom of the watershed. So even if the trash is not necessarily at the lake from people recreating, it will get washed there eventually. So super important to protect that resource.
Yeah. You might mention too about your a picture.
Yeah, so I started an annual photo contest. So it's like goes from Labor Day to Labor Day, because Labor Day usually happens before our cleanup, and then the winners are announced at the cleanup. The details of that are on our Facebook page, so it's already ended for this year, but you can start taking pictures and be entering for next year too.
So is this more of a landscape type picture contest, or what just give us a little idea?
You just want to showcase the value of the lake, so that can be recreating, that can be the natural beauty. We just want to show like what a good resource it is for the area.
Yeah, I think a lot of people they take advantage of that resource, and they get on their boats every weekend and they're up there having a great time, and then others just they may not have the means, but we all know it's up there. So I think in the end, just having more people continually go to the lake and keeping that thriving while maintaining it is super important.
Yeah,
so,
I agree. Just making the lake available and get it out more into the broader communities, than the local communities. Yeah.
And I mean, the lake spans multiple miles through a few counties, right?
Yeah, it's in Orange, Crawford, and DuBois counties. Yeah, it has, I think, 161 miles of shoreline. So that's
a little bit.
Pretty big lake. Yeah,
enough, yeah.
It's really. And the other thing, it's a pristine lake because unlike Monroe Reservoir that has the big one, I think that's the biggest 10,000.
Yeah.
They were allowed to build close to the water, so they have houses and stuff.
Yes.
Patoka, you couldn't build within 300 feet, so it's all pristine. The only ones that have access is Patoka Lake Marina and Hoosier Hills Marina, the two marinas.
Yes.
Other than that, and ramps going in, you're looking at pristine lake with wooded areas around it.
And if people, I mean, I think the main goal of that should be keeping and maintaining that. And if you don't want to help in that effort, then, pick a different lake in the nicest way possible. But definitely Patoka is a great resource for us to have here. And again, it provides all of the water for a lot of people.
Right.
So at the very base, it is what provides us with daily sustenance of water.
Yeah, and the other thing is that we don't just walk the edge of the lake, we go back into the tributaries. And that's where a lot of people, with tires and fridge, you'd be amazed what's back in there. So we kind of go out a little bit further from that to bring in the trash too.
Now, do you need to have your walking shoes on or be very well fit to be picking up all this trash, or is it really an event for everyone?
I mean, it's an event for everyone. Everybody can help. We have some people that aren't even able to get out and walk, and they'll bring their vehicles so they can pick up the bags of trash along the road, trucks, things like that. There's a way anybody can help if they're interested in helping.
Yeah, that's the other thing. You don't have to bring the trash back. Wherever it is, if you're on the road, you can just leave it there and we'll be by to pick the trash up.
Good, okay. So there's options, and there's a lot of flexibility for the volunteers.
Yes, we try to make it available to, as many people as we can.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, is there anything else we need to make sure to talk about today before we kind of wrap it up? I mean, you guys have been nothing but vast source of information, especially on Patoka Lake here.
Well, September 23rd, this Saturday, 8 a.m., come on, Eastern Time. Welcome to all.
Yes. I mean, you gotta show up. The flyers, if I could hold it today,
right.
Flyers are worth looking at, and you don't even have to register beforehand.
Well, the other thing too, we're also celebrating National Public Lands Day at the same time. So we're getting vendors coming in that we normally don't have. So there'll be other vendors. So hopefully people come in and visit those vendors, because they might not be there. They haven't been there in the past.
Oh, that is good to know too. So This is, of course, a day for volunteering and working, but it's also a good opportunity to kind of get some information or see some other vendors.
Yes, definitely.
Lots of educational boosts, things on why our water is important. It's great to keep it clean, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it sounds like it's going to be a great day, like all around. I'm new to the cleanup day, but it's on my calendar already, and I'm hoping to make it out there.
Great.
So everyone at home needs to also put it in their calendar and make it a date,
Yes.
per se.
Yes.
Well, thank you both for joining us today. We're excited to see how much tonnage you add to your many years of cleanup at the Patoka Lake, and we appreciate all that you do for all of our counties here.
Well, we appreciate being able to be in front of the camera and present it too. It's a big part of it. Yes.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
The least amount we could do for you guys. You guys put in the work on it. You will be putting in a lot of the work on Saturday. So best of luck, wonderful weather, and all that fun
Yes.
stuff.
Thank you.
Thank you so much at home for watching. This has been your 18 WJTS in.form, where we are local people watching local people clean up the Patoka Lake this weekend.